For a literal millennium, these walls stood untouched, towering, invincible, basically the ultimate fortress. But now, a 21-year-old kid is planning the absolutely impossible. In this explainer, we're diving into a story where one young man isn't just looking to win a battle, he's looking to rewrite the very fabric of history. Get ready for a tale of unyielding ambition, terrifying innovation, and the shocking fall of the world's most protected city.
1,000. That is how many years the massive, ancient fortifications of Constantinople stood completely unbreached. Just think about that scale for a second. For 10 straight centuries, the greatest empires, the most ruthless warlords, and the most brilliant tacticians threw absolutely everything they had against these stones. And for 10 centuries, every single one of them was broken.
And on the other side? 21. That's the age of Sultan Mehmed II, one incredibly young man standing against the absolute weight of history. His advisors are terrified, right? They are literally begging him to reconsider, but he completely ignores them. He's 21 years old and he wants total, absolute glory. Part 1. The Impossible Target. So let's set the stage. The year is 1453. The end of the Middle Ages is rapidly approaching, a massive tectonic shift in human history. And at the center of it all is the Sultan's relentless, obsessive fixation on the unconquerable capital of the Byzantine Empire. To him, it isn't just a city, it is the ultimate prize. But to break fortifications built by Roman emperors, Mehmed knows he can't just rely on the same old tactics. He needs a real game changer, something the world has absolutely never seen before. He needs a siege engine of unprecedented scale, a literal weapon of nightmare that can do what 1,000 years of traditional warfare simply could not. Part 2. The Monster Cannon. Here is where the brutal, industrial scale of the Ottoman war machine kicks into high gear. Mehmed doesn't just hire soldiers, he brings in engineers and visionaries of destruction. We are talking about the urban cannon, a monster weapon forged to shatter unbreakable ancient stone. Picture this, immense pits of molten bronze, steam hissing and rising into the air as liquid metal is poured into these massive earth molds. This giant barrel is forged with a single, terrifying purpose, to absolutely obliterate the Byzantine capital.
And with that weapon in tow, the siege officially begins. Thousands of Ottoman soldiers are on the march, and the earth is literally trembling beneath their boots. They surround the bleeding city, pitching a sea of tents that stretches as far as the eye can see. And up on the ramparts, the Byzantine emperor is watching. He looks out over this endless horizon of enemies, knowing that the entire world is watching right along with him.
Then, the silence breaks. The first shot roars from the urban cannon, and the explosive recoil is so violent it shakes the bedrock. The air just turns to thunder. Giant stone balls weighing hundreds of pounds fly through the air and crash into the defenses built by ancient emperors. Dust chokes the sky over the impossible city.
Part 3. Ships over the mountains. But here's the catch. The Sultan controls the land, but a giant iron chain completely blocks the sea harbor.
His navy is totally stuck. The defenders have the absolute advantage on the water. So, faced with a blocked sea, does the 21-year-old Sultan retreat? No way. He simply looks at the map and orders the impossible. He says, if the water is chained, we are going to move the ships over the land. We're going over the mountains. I mean, the logistical nightmare here is just staggering. First, you have to drag massive wooden warships right out of the water. Next, you hoist them onto heavily greased wooden logs. And finally, thousands of men and beasts of burden strain their muscles, pulling an entire fleet through a shadowy, rugged forest in the dead of night. It is history completely defying all known logic. By sunrise, the defenders look out at their protected harbor, and their blood just runs cold. The mist clears, and the Ottoman fleet is already in the water behind their defenses. The trap is perfectly executed. The harbor is officially lost. Inside the walls, absolute panic grips the dark city alleys. The defenders know the end is near, but hey, they are not going quietly. A last, desperate defense begins. Greek fire, these terrifying, unquenchable green flames, rains down from the ramparts onto the attackers. The end of Rome is drawing near, but it is going to be bathed in fire. Part 4. The Final Assault. The bombardment has raged for weeks, and the walls are cracked. There will be no more waiting. The time for the killing blow has arrived. Let's walk through the night before the end. At nightfall, tens of thousands of campfires flicker in the dark while the Ottoman army prays for the morning. By midnight, a heavy, suffocating silence settles over the battlefield. And then, dawn breaks. Golden war trumpets scream through the air, calling for blood.
Waves of men hit the breaches. It's a brutal, vertical climb up the shattered masonry. Blood stains the ancient marble. The sheer numbers and the relentless ferocity of this 21-year-old's army are just completely overwhelming. Finally, the 1,000-year-old defense starts to buckle under the pressure.
But actually, get this, amidst all the terrifying cannons and the brilliant naval maneuvers, what ultimately breaks the city? A simple error. A small wooden gate left unlocked by accident. Ottoman soldiers find it, push it open, and just flood inside. A simple oversight that literally costs an entire empire.
Part 5. A new age begins. The banners rise atop the walls. Constantinople has fallen to the boy king.
The Roman Empire is dead. Let the immense scale of that sink in for a second. This wasn't just the loss of a city. The lineage of Augustus Caesar, the eastern remnants of Rome that had survived for over a millennium, was snuffed out in a single morning. The entire world order just shifted on its axis.
It's the ultimate clash of the past versus the future. A fallen crown lies in the dust of a dying 1,000-year-old empire. Meanwhile, riding through the gates, the 21-year-old Sultan Mehmed, the conqueror, energetically enters his new, magnificent prize.
The impossible became reality. At just 21 years old, a young ruler shattered the impossible, defied generations of military doctrine, and literally changed everything. So it really makes you wonder, if a 21-year-old armed with relentless ambition and terrifying innovation can shatter a 1,000-year-old empire, what other impossible barriers in history are waiting to fall?